Today I'll be discussing something that I use on a regular basis, the PowerBlock U175. I bought this around 3 years ago, and it came with the power blocks. Here, the two different handles. I got the 12.5 handle and the 20-pound handle. And it goes all the way up to 175 with the 20-pound handle, or for the 12.5 handle, it goes up to 167.5 pounds. Came with this stand, which is here, which I had to set up. It was pretty much almost already set up. I just had to do a couple of attachments to get it connected, and then all of these blocks, which I can show kind of, let's see if I can show. So each one of these type of blocks, like 2 or 3 of these would be in each would come in a cardboard shipping container, and then pretty much they assemble together kind of like Legos. This one has the handle, the slider attached to it. The reason I wanted to do a review is I've had this for a long time now, and I've used it on a weekly basis, so I have a pretty good idea of what it's good at and what it's not good at. The first thing that I really like about this set is that, for one thing, I wanted dumbbells that went up past 150 pounds when I bought this set. So this one goes up to 175. I still, after using this on a constant basis, I really haven't used 175 pounds for anything. It's just too heavy for me for pretty much all exercises. Maybe I could do shrugs or something, but I'd be cheating a lot. So for me, this was perfect set. If you follow my channel, you see that my favorite thing to do is the dumbbell bench press, and I worked all the way up to, I think the highest I've tried is 160 pounds, which is the 20-pound handle on the setting here, which is the second to last setting. So kind of how this works is, on each of these handles, you have a weight that you can go to, and it's color coordinated. And so if I want to do 42.5 pounds, then what I do is, I basically swap these handles, put this in, and then I go 42.5, which is, you can't really see, but each one of these dumbbell weight plates has a color on it, and this is white. So for 42.5 pounds, so you can see it's white right here, I have put the handle in, and it locks in place, and then I can do 42.5 pounds of whatever I want to do. So it's really easy to use. It doesn't take up a lot of weight. The handles are a little bulky for certain things. I found that if I want to do dumbbell pullovers, that I prefer using the 12.5 handles, because when I grab them like this, and I go behind my head, and this bar right here is thinner than the bar here. This is a little thicker. So I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's a slight difference. This is a lot more comfortable doing that. Oh, sorry, I showed the 12, that's why they look the same. This one's thicker, right? Somehow I was looking for a noticeable difference. See, this is obviously a lot bigger. And these have to be a little bit sturdier because it uses a little bit heavier weight on it. After 3 years of use, my set is still in relatively good condition. I haven't had any kind of major problems with the set. I do not drop these power blocks, so if you do, you're going to break it relatively quickly. So you have to be kind of careful and mindful of that, especially when I do heavy dumbbell bench presses. I normally can't, when I'm done, I can't just drop the weight on the ground. I have to put one on, basically put I kind of swivel on the seat, put one on the bench, and then the other one I kind of hold and put and rack it. And then I grab the other one and then rack it again. What else that is kind of useful about the set is, so say I can start it, this handle itself is 20 pounds. If I want to do 20 pounds, I can just do 20 pounds, grab the handle. If I want to do the next up in weight is 27.5 pounds. So I'd put the 12.5 handle here and select black on here, and now I have 27.5 pounds that I can just do. If I want to go up in between sets, the next available weight that I can pick is 35, so I can swap it like this, right? So you can kind of do small jumps in weight without that much effort. But also, if you want to be kind of lazy, you can just, and you're doing an exercise like a dumbbell bench press where you kind of are jumping up in weight, you can just say, hey, I want to do 80, then I want to do 111, then I want to do 145. So you don't have to jump as small increments if you don't want to. The only issue that I've kind of had with these weights is when you take out almost a full stack, like if I take out the second to last one in here, which is 160, and I pull it out, basically putting the weight back in when there's only one plate on here is kind of it's kind of difficult, especially when it's heavy and getting it back in. So that's the only kind of issue I've had. It's really easy to do. Like if I just grab this is 80 pounds, I take out 80 pounds, I want to put back in 80 pounds, just kind of slides into place, and it's not that difficult. If you wish to use these PowerBlocks with, you can pretty much do any type of exercise that you do with the dumbbell with the PowerBlock. It is pretty much the same exact thing, with the only difference being that you can't drop the weights and that it is a little cumbersome for certain things. I noticed for shoulder presses and stuff, the weight is a little bigger here. If you had a traditional dumbbell, it would be kind of circular and it'd be a little bit more compact. You can kind of see that there is like damage to the weights here, but it's just kind of cosmetic, and that's just for constant use over a long period of time. This handle that it comes with is really sturdy. I haven't had any issues with it. It's magnetic, it just kind of slides into place. And when I'm done, basically what I do is I take it out at the end of each day and I leave it like that. That's just what I do. I think I read that that's the recommended thing to do instead of leaving it in the, I leave it like this, yeah. So that's just what I do. What else is there? If you want to use bands, bands can be used in conjunction with the PowerBlocks with relative ease. I've done dumbbell bench presses with kind of the bands around me, and then I have the band basically around my hand, and then I grab the weight, and then I kind of press like this, and it works out pretty well. So pretty much everything that you'd want to do with the dumbbell you can do here. For me, my main requirement was I had this in my living room, so I don't have a lot of space. So I needed to get something that was relatively compact in size. And as you can see, I have a chair here, and it's about the same size as the chair in terms of space it takes up. So that was really great for me. It fits here, and basically when I'm done with it, I put a cover over it, and when I'm doing things in my house, it's not a major kind of eyesore. I don't think. The more of the major eyesore is the bench that I have, because it takes up a lot of space. There are benches that kind of fold up that you can get, but you want something sturdy, and I went with, this is kind of my bench is more of like a heavy duty model, and I feel very comfortable in it. It's not flimsy at all, especially like I mentioned a lot this video, when I do my dumbbell bench presses. I don't want to be unstable, because when it's really heavy for me, I could fall off the bench. I mean, it seems kind of crazy, but when it's a lot of weight and you're not stable, and it takes a lot of core to get down, you can kind of fall off the bench if you're going really heavy. That's pretty much it for my review. I couldn't be happier. I really haven't done any type of, I know there's some sort of maintenance that they recommend that you do with these. I haven't done any adjustments in terms of any of these screws or anything. And like I mentioned, I do probably twice a week. I'll watch TV, and then I'm going to do biceps while I'm watching the TV show. And I'll do all the different exercises. And kind of, I can watch like a 2-hour movie and just do like every bicep, tricep type of movement and get a really good workout in while I'm watching TV or just doing my daily tasks around the house. So even if I stopped getting into lifting, I would recommend this set just to have around the house. So if you ever are in the mood to work out, it's here, and it's not hard to do. I mean, you really have no excuse with these PowerBlocks, because if you have a traditional dumbbell up to 175, it's going to take up basically a whole huge amount of space with each of the dumbbells. You're going to have to adjust those dumbbells, because generally with dumbbells you're dropping them because you're used to dropping them, and then you got to tighten them again. They are more, they can, the plus side is that you're able to do that, but at the same time it's not practical for like my situation where I'm in a living room condition. You can't really drop weight, and also with PowerBlocks you just can't do that. You'll destroy. And then you basically, these are fairly expensive. I think I spent $1,000 or so on the set. I don't exactly know how much they are now. I believe you have to buy this set with the stand. When I did, that was my only option. I actually didn't want to get the stand with these PowerBlocks, but I ended up getting the stand, and you really need the stand. So it makes everything much easier to put back weights, to grab weights, because it's from an ideal height for leverage and everything. So especially when the weights are heavy, you really need the stand. So I recommend that. So I recommend buying this set. I'll do another video about a comparison between, I have one of the older PowerBlock sets, and suffice it to say, this is much improved in terms of everything that I could imagine. This is a way better and extremely sturdy, and even though the cost is a little high, I think it's totally worth it if you're into fitness and everything. So that's my review of the PowerBlock U175. They originally were called, I think, like heavy duty XXL PowerBlocks or something. I don't think they call them that anymore, but I kind of like that name a little bit better. So hope that review helps. Thanks.